Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us. I appreciate you helping us out this evening.
Of course. Thanks for having me. This is great. I'm glad to be here and just be a part of the whole process. It's awesome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Now, even though this is a real estate channel, everyone who knows me knows that music is near and dear to my heart. So I ask everyone, what are you listening to? What do you have on heavy rotation?
So my goal is to pick up another instrument. I played the flute throughout high school, or actually
Hmm.
throughout middle school and a little bit earlier. And so now I want to move on to the saxophone. So I've been downloading renditions of every popular song, just the saxophone version. So I always like jazz, David Brubeck, and a few others, but now I'm just trying to. It's building my enthusiasm. So anything that's a top 10 hit or anything else that's out there, it's on my Spotify as a jazz saxophone version now.
Very nice. Very nice. I didn't know you were a musician. You can join the band. I got Jade back there, and I'm not that good, but I like to play.
Oh
But
no, I'm not good. I think you're better. I don't want to offend you or Jade, so I'm gonna give it a little bit before.
but I appreciate that. All right. Well, I'm listening to Alex Isley, Naomi Sharon on Pandora right now. So that's kind of the vibe
Nice,
I'm listening to. I
nice,
mostly just pick up playing just to accompany my wife who sings. So that's what I do.
nice. I heard she can sing. I heard she can sing. I've heard good rumors.
She loves to sing and hates to perform. And so I should stop talking about her before someone asks her to sing. All right. Well, let me let you introduce yourself, your company. Tell us a little bit about you for all of our viewers out there.
Yeah, so my name is Ryan. I work with Orange Door Inspections, a business originally started with my dad. So I'm a registered, a licensed, I should say, home inspector, and we mainly work in Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. We do residential inspections, but we also do commercial inspections. We do property assessments, which kind of help homeowners evaluate the lifespan of key aspects in their home so they can
Hmm.
prepare for when those things may fail and save up. And then, of course, we do air testing, radon, um, air quality, everything that we do to make sure your home or the home you're going to purchase or the commercial property you're going to purchase is in good condition and you can enjoy it.
Okay, excellent. Now, I always have people ask when we're going through our real estate deals with the contracts, home inspection, waive it, not waive it. What exactly is a home inspection? What does it do for the buyer?
I think the best way we like to talk about it is before you buy a car, if you could have a mechanic come with you and check it out, everybody would be ecstatic. And that's what the home inspection is. The funny thing is sometimes we spend more time looking at cars and going over cars than we do our home. And so really that's what the home inspector does. We come in, we do a visual observation of things like the heating, cooling, the structure, the crawl space, the grade, the outside areas, inside areas to give you a general assessment of the home. And that way you can make an informed decision as you're purchasing and moving into that home.
Thanks. I love that illustration. I know I've purchased some used cars in the past, and I've actually taken them to my friends who are mechanics. So that's a great way of describing that. Good. Now, when it comes to finding someone like yourself, an inspector, what qualifications or certifications should buyers or sellers look for in finding a home inspector?
Yeah, that's good to know. I love that question because sometimes we just think we get a home inspector. Now, in Virginia, it's the Virginia Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation, so DPOR. So basically, we go through courses. Once we pass the course, then we have to do a certain amount of inspections with a licensed inspector. And then after that, we have to take a state certified, basically a board test. And then we can become an inspector. So that's for Virginia. Once we're an inspector in one state, we may have to do some other requirements to become an inspector in other states. So a good thing to remember too is because DMV is so close, and sometimes we can hop over the line in a matter of minutes looking for a home here and there. You want to make sure your inspector is licensed in the state. So that means Maryland's different than Virginia, and just because you're licensed in Virginia doesn't mean you can practice in Maryland and in DC. So you want to make sure your home inspector is licensed in all those states.
Beautiful, beautiful. Appreciate that. Good tip for our listeners out there. Now, what basically is covered with a home inspection, and what's out of scope? What are the things include that you're looking
Yeah, we we look at the how you would use the home. So we're not. It's an observation. So we're going through the home as you would use it. So we're turning doorknobs, testing railings. We don't test things like pools. That's a totally different certification. Usually outdoor structures like a shed or a barn, that's separate. We can inspect it, but it's usually separate and it might be an extra fee because
Sure.
there's other things involved in regulations. It's not a state regulation code inspection. Although we know code, it's not a code inspection. We're there really to observe how you would use the home and pick up things that may be an issue or something you want to be aware of, things that need to be fixed. And the thing we always tell homeowners, it's not a pass or fail.
Right.
It's
Right.
informational assessment so you can make the best decision and be informed when you purchase the commercial property or the home.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. I can vouch for how thorough Orange Door is. In fact, you did the inspection on the last home I bought, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Well, hopefully you're happy, so
Oh,
that's
yeah,
good.
absolutely, absolutely. So, can you explain the difference between a pre-listing inspection? I guess that's what the seller would ask for, and the buyer's inspection. What's the difference in those two?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You may be looking to sell your home in the future and thinking about it, and so you say, you know what, let's do a pre-listing inspection. So basically, you have an inspector come through, he does the assessment, and that way you have time to fix things before it goes onto the market. That's a benefit, especially if you mention it to potential buyers, so they know that you've taken some care of the home before it goes on the market. So that's pre-listing.
Hmm.
That's basically, to use our car illustration again. You have the car, you have your mechanic look at it, you change the tires, you go through state inspections to make sure it's ready to sell. A buyer's inspection is basically, I'm buying the used car and I have the mechanic with me. So that's my mechanic, someone that I've hired with the assistance of my realtor to work for me and check the home. For the seller's inspection, our client is the person selling the home. And for a
Hmm.
buyer's inspection, it's the person who's buying the home.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Now, speaking of those sellers, what can sellers do to kind of minimize potential red flags when it comes to an inspection?
Yeah, I think having the right mindset. Looking again, we talked about it's not like a pass or fail. It's not
Hmm.
like you see red marks and it's like, well, we can't buy it. But having the right mindset.
Right.
Going back to cars again is if you want to buy a 1968, 1969 Shelby Mustang,
That would
it's
be
going to
me. I
have,
want one.
yeah, I mean, that's a nice car. I wouldn't mind having one. But you're going to have different issues or different concerns than a new car that's a
Right, right.
2024. It'll have different safety features or lack safety features. So we try to keep this in mind for the sellers. Keep in mind the age of the home. And what we're looking for is you're looking for things that can make you aware of what you're getting into. So really the buyers want to get in that frame of mind. It's not a pass or fail. We're here to
Hmm.
provide information. So you know, it doesn't mean you don't get the house. It just means maybe you have a few things that you want to discuss with the agent before you buy the home.
Sure, sure. Now, are there newer tools or techniques that you use in home inspections now?
Yeah, yeah, we like to use all the tools. One of the things I like is we have infrared. We use infrared cameras. Of
Hmm.
course, drones aren't that new, but those are super helpful. Just the access of data, so we can look up county records, so we can look at restoration and things that have been done to the home just in front of us, even before we get to the home. And then, of course, a lot of the tools we use that we encourage our buyers to do is a air quality inspection because that can pick up various particulates in the air.
Hmm.
You're in the home, so you want to know what you're breathing, what you're living in. So being able to do that test for radon. It's an invisible gas that's very harmful, and so that's another test that we do. Those tests aren't new, but it's technology that we use. And then, of course, we use this top of the line reports, so that
Hmm.
gives us the way to send the report to you in a readable and a speedy fashion, so you can get it, take a look at it, and understand it.
A lot to it. I appreciate that. Now, what's the strangest or the most unexpected thing that you found in a home inspection?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, Aside from people and places they shouldn't be, sometimes a homeowner says, "Oh, it's just me here; it's empty," and then you open the room and somebody's sleeping, and that startles you. I did get locked in it was a really big house. I got locked in a room. It was a bathroom. It had a his and hers closet. And
Hmm.
so I went to one side just to check it was a pocket door. So I slid it
Hmm.
out. It slid closed and I was like, "Oh, it works great." And then I went to open it and I couldn't couldn't get it open. So that was a little bit dramatic. I was in an elevator. We inspected that I wasn't sure was going to go up, but I was already in it. I was a little fearful. Bullet holes. And I think the coolest thing is we inspected an older home and we found whiskey bottles from the 1920s. It
Oh,
was an
wow.
old coal chute. So who was ever shoveling coal was passing time with a little bit of,
Best way to
it's,
pass time.
hey. So we found some antique bottles. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. Some of those things you see them on sitcoms, you're like, that won't happen in real life, but you're proof positive it does happen in real life.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Well, what's one piece of advice that you would give homeowners about maintaining their home?
You know what? Water. Keep water away from your home. There's a lot of things that go into a home. It's living, breathing, but
Hmm.
one of the biggest things is keeping water away from your home, making sure it has proper drainage. It should be, obviously, it doesn't need to be on a hill, but you want to be able to visually see that if it rains, water is going to go away from your home. The gutters are going to take the water away, not just dump it out in front, because that
Right.
can lead to damp basements. Water gets in the cracks. It can age your home quickly. It can affect the quality of the air you're breathing when it causes mold and dampness from the attic all the way into the basement and in between. So just making sure water moves away from your home and change your filters, change your HVAC filters. We forget to do that. Just
Yeah.
throwing that in there.
Got a reminder on my phone. Do it every 3 months. I got
Oh,
it. Good.
perfect. Oh, you're on top of it.
So, what do you find is the most rewarding thing about your job, about being a home inspector?
I think I'll have to say for sure is helping people know how to use their home. It seems like it's a home. We know how to use it. But the funny thing, I like referencing cars again. I was driving one of my friend's cars. They had borrow it, and I found out how to use a little thing. It was just like a little a guidance tool that it had a safety feature. And he's like, how'd you find that?" It's like, "Oh, it's right here. It's on here. It helps you stay in the lane and it kind of lane assist." He's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that thing had it." And it's the same thing with our homes. We feel like it's obvious. You walk in and you live in it,
Hmm.
but there's things we should do with our HVAC system, with our
Hmm. Hmm.
air, with even just planting and keeping plants away from our home that help us live in the best way. And so that's really rewarding when somebody, a home owner, gets in their home, but they just don't feel rewarded living in it. Now they know how to use it. And that makes us feel really happy when that happens.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you a not so serious question. We talked about the comedic experiences you've had there with home inspection, but if your company home inspection were a reality show, what would be the most dramatic scene that you've encountered?
Oh, that just like reality TV, it takes a good group of people. So we've worked with some nice, how would you say it, spicy agents. They got just a great personality. It takes a stressed out homeowner and a time crunch. Those are the
Mm.
ingredients for like a hot mix of an episode that you would want to watch season 1 through 8. And so that's happened a few times. And when there's a time pressure, sometimes things are like stressed or made bigger than they have to be, and it's just, oh man, you look back at it and it's pretty humorous, and I'd watch it a couple times. When we look through the pictures, sometimes it's funny, and then you just find unexpected things like you said in homes, and it just adds to the whole drama of everything.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'd watch it. Starring Ryan
That
Johnson.
might be an idea. We might have to
I'll
retire off
pitch that to
that.
Netflix. Yeah. Well, two questions left. First of all, how can people contact you?
Yeah, so we're Orange Door Inspections. The best way is orangedoorinspections.com.
Hmm.
We also have our Instagram handle. You can find us with the same thing, Orange Door Inspections. And again, we do commercial inspections. We also do residential. And again, another thing is we do a home assessment. So you can look at the value of your home as far as the components you have in there and save if your
Hmm.
HVAC system is past its lifespan or other key systems. So we provide all those services and you can check it out on our site.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, question number two, you are officially still a newlywed, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. 9 months now. It's
Oh,
nine
wow.
months.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I noticed you're rocking the ring, the same color as your hat.
Yeah, you know what? I got a batch of rings for rubber ones, silicone rings for safety. So I kind of like having a variety of colors. Kind of cool.
Beautiful, Ryan the fashionista. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ryan. We really, your knowledge is invaluable, and we appreciate you coming. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate it, Joel. This is awesome.
All right, you take care.